Hello dear students, this is Giri teaching 10th Mathematics, the chapter Polynomials. Here are the solutions of the questions from exercise 2.1. This is the first question of exercise 2.1 and the chapter Polynomials.
Look at question number 1. The graphs of polynomials p of x are given below, and in each case find the number of zeros. I shall repeat. The graphs of polynomials of p of x are given below. In each case find the number of zeros. Dear students, here is the first graph. The horizontal line of reference and vertical line of reference. Horizontal line of reference is called x-axis and vertical line of reference is called y-axis. Okay. Now look at this graph. This red line represents the graph. Now this graph is a straight line. Is it cutting x-axis? Is it intersecting x-axis? You verify. At how many points this graph may intersect x-axis? Here this line, this straight line does not touch x-axis. Since it does not intersect x-axis, there is no zero for this polynomial. Therefore, the number of zeros for this graph, number of zeros is equal to 0. The number of zeros of a graph is nothing but the number of points at which the graph intersects x-axis. Here, in this case, in the first case, the given graph is intersecting y-axis, but it is not touching x-axis. In other words, it is parallel to x-axis. Now look at second bit now. Again, x-axis and y-axis, these two are intersecting at origin. Now this is the graph. This graph intersecting x-axis at how many points? This graph, this curve intersecting x-axis at one point. Then the number of zeros of this polynomial is equal to 1. Now look at the third graph. In this third graph, again both an x and y axis, and this is the curve. Now this curve is intersecting x-axis at how many points? You may please count. And this is the first point of intersection. This is the second point of intersection. And this is the third point of intersection. This curve is intersecting x-axis at 3 points. Then number of zeros of this polynomial is equal to 3. Please keep in mind, in whatever the graph is given, in order to find out the number of zeros of the given polynomial, we have to verify at how many points the given graph is intersecting x-axis. The number of intersecting points is equal to number of zeros. Why it is so? Because we know that the zero of a polynomial is nothing but the value of the variable for which the total polynomial is 0. In order to get the 0, the value of the variable x, you have to find out the value of the variable for the total polynomial 0. Okay, look at question number 4. In this, again I have given x and y axis, and this is the given curve. And this curve is intersecting x-axis at 2 points. This is first point and this is the second point. Since it is intersecting at 2 points, okay, since it is intersecting at 2 points, the number of zeros of this graph is equal to 2. And the next bit, fifth bit now. Now the given curve is like this. And this given curve is intersecting x-axis at 1, 2, 3 and 4 points. Since it is intersecting x-axis at 4 points, the number of zeros of this curve or of this polynomial is equal to 4. I shall try to explain why the number of zeros is equal to the number of points at which the curve intersects x-axis. The reason is, at this point of intersection on x-axis, for any point on x-axis, can you say what is the value of y-coordinate? Yes. for any point on x-axis, y coordinate is always 0. Means y is equal to 0 is the equation of x-axis. That is, for any point on x-axis, y coordinate is 0. If I given a polynomial x plus 2 and are asked to find the 0, then what will you do? You will equate x plus 2 to 0 and you may find x value. Similarly, here also we have given a polynomial. If we draw the graph of a polynomial, you will get a curve or you will get a straight line. Now, if the curve is intersecting x-axis, means that point on x-axis, y coordinate is 0. Polynomial of the variable is 0. If the total polynomial value is 0, then you have to find x value. That x value itself is the 0. Therefore, you have to find out the number of zeros. You have to find at how many points that curve may intersect x-axis. In this case, this curve is intersecting x-axis at 4 points. Therefore, the number of zeros of this curve is 4. And next, the sixth bit now, this is the curve. Look at this curve. This curve is intersecting x-axis at this first point. This is the first point of intersection. And this is not the point of intersection. It is just touching x-axis. Therefore, there is only one point is here. First point, second point. Again, it is touching x-axis at another point. Therefore, there are 3 points of intersection. Exactly, there is only one point of intersection and the other 2 the points of contact. Anyhow, there are 3 common points for x-axis and this curve. How many common points are there? 1, 2, 3 common points. Therefore, the number of zeros of this curve is equal to 3. Number of zeros is equal to 3. Now, what can you conclude from this? You should understand that the number of zeros of any curve is equal to the number of points at which the curve intersects x-axis. The number of zeros of a curve is equal to the number of points at which the curve intersects x-axis.